Hello and welcome everyone to this week's episode of the podcast. This week I have a lovely guest for you, the wonderful Sara Arnold. So Sara is a current student on the diploma in silver metal clay, and this is the first year we've run it. So it's going to be really interesting to hear a bit about her experience, but also about her jewelry business and about her journey into jewelry making, because we love sharing stories on the podcast of other makers because it is a great way to get inspired yourself. So, welcome, Sarah. Lovely to have you here today.
Hello, Jess. Thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming. And you have a jewelry business, don't you? Per Sarah Jewelry, which makes kind of ancient Egyptian inspired pieces, some really cool stuff. So anyone listening, definitely go and check that out. We'll put a link in the show notes as well. And we'll be talking more about your business in a little bit. But perhaps to get started, you could share, how did you come to jewelry making? What was the start of the journey for you?
Um, I bought a beautiful beaded necklace in Egypt when I went, and when I got home, it broke. So I took it back the next time I went, and they repaired it, and they didn't do a very good job.
Mm.
So when I got home, I thought, right, I'm going to have a go. So I did. I cut the cord and arranged all the beads and made it much better than it ever was. So I was very pleased. And then I carved a an Eye of Horus out of lapis lazuli, and I wanted to mount it somehow. So I did some fabulous silversmithing courses with a lovely local jeweler to me. Um, and it really all stemmed from there. Then we went into lockdown and I discovered metal clay. And I was using metal clay quite a lot because it achieves the aims for some of the things that I want. Um, but I found it really quite difficult to use, and I was having mixed results really. Um, so I was looking into the Jeweller's Academy, and I was tempted to do the diploma in fine silver, but there was something stopping me. I'm not quite sure what. So I didn't sign up for that. And then all of a sudden, the diploma in metal clay arrived. So I joined the online Zoom to find out more about it, and literally enrolled the next day. It was fabulous, just what I wanted. Was so excited, and yeah, I'm pleased to say it's made a real difference to my making, and yeah, absolutely love it even more than what I did before.
Oh, amazing. I find that so interesting that you were kind of looking at the diploma in silver, and obviously part of you wanted to do silver, but there was something holding you back. Like you said, I think that's probably your intuition. We all have that gut feeling of like, is this right? Is this what I want? I'm not sure. And I'm a bit like you. When I see something and I know I want it, I'm just like, I'm all in. Like, that's what I want. And if I'm not like that, then sometimes I can be a slow burn, but usually it's because it's not quite the right thing yet. So it was interesting how, yeah, I've not heard anyone say that before, that they were just immediately like, this is the one. So that's really cool. And so when you first started with silver metal clay, did you do any classes in it, or how did you kind of come to it? Just kind of experimented at home? Tell us a bit about your starting of the silver metal
Um,
clay.
well, my friend in Devon mentioned it, and I caught up with there was a television program on around Christmas
Was
with
it Kirsty?
that's
Kirsty's Handmade Christmas. Yeah,
that's the one,
yeah.
and the lovely Kim was on it making some really pretty dangly earrings out of metal clay. And I thought, oh, how intriguing. I could really achieve some good results with that. Things that I wanted to do. So I bought some, and I ended up making, with my lapis lazuli Eye of Horus, I inset some silver clay into it and made a silver clay backing. And
Mm,
still, this is one of my favourite pieces, and I wear it
amazing.
today. Um, and I'd really liked using silver clay, and I've done pottery and I've done sculpture before, but it's not like any other clay that I've used. I had mixed results with it.
Mm.
Um, and I wasn't particularly looking for any silver clay classes. I was just sort of bumbling through, if you like. Um, and like I say, with mixed results, things were breaking, things weren't sintering properly, never had a kiln at that stage. Um, so yeah, I just bumbled along. That's why when the course came up, it was just fabulous. And I said to my partner, the reason I'm doing this is because I want to be better at it than I am. Mixed with the traditional silversmithing techniques. I just thought it would just go really well. And yeah, to my delight, it's worked so well, and I've loved every minute of the course.
Oh, it's amazing. That's so good to hear. And so you started in September, didn't you? This is our first year running the course. So you're our first years, which is we love, we love it when people join in the first year. I mean, we love it when people join any year, but there's something amazing about the first time round where the tutors, have all just created the courses and we get to show them and we get to see students making the work. And you're 2 terms in, you finish term 2 into term 3. What have you enjoyed about the course so far? What have been some of the highlights for you?
Well, pretty much everything, really. When I looked at the curriculum before we started, I thought, oh, term one's going to be easy. Term two is going to be difficult, but I'm looking forward to the master classes on term three.
Mm.
Um, but I was absolutely blown away with what I learned on term one. Um, the different techniques, the different ways of doing things. Um, Term two started off very difficult. Out my
Some
comfort
challenging
zone.
some challenges.
Um, and but it went on to be really good, and I've really enjoyed it. But the master classes are fantastic. Really complicated, really intricate. Um, Learning how to go smaller, and think about your designs beforehand. And yeah, so I think my favorite part of it has to be I like the Animazon masterclass. I thought she's just so fantastic. Um, and the lidded vessels that we're on at the moment, I thought that was a bit impossible before we started it, but the technique is fantastic, and I'm really pleased with the outcome. Um, but I think my favourite of all so far has been the stone setting and the articulated bales.
Yeah.
So you get lots of movement within the piece that you're making. And I made a lovely Art Deco um, pendant with a beautiful purple set stone, um, and I'm just so pleased with it. So overall, I've enjoyed absolutely everything, even though the paper clay in particular just found so difficult.
Yeah.
So I think it was about for me learning what I don't like as much as what I do like.
Yes.
And I'm sure that all of the techniques I've learned will take me on into the future. So,
Absolutely. Yeah. I think that's such a good point that you make about, anyone's learning journey is that it's so important to know what we don't like as well, isn't it? Because if we like every single thing, it's very hard to make any decisions about design and what kind of style we want to follow. So I love it when people say that, like, oh, I know that, I've ruled these bits out, and actually I'm really excited about these things, like you said, the stone setting, the articulated bales, and learning how to go smaller and detail and all those things. And it's incredible if we speak to like 10 different students, they'll have 10 different things that's their thing, which is out of the same program, which I absolutely love. And so the kind of jewelry that you make, this kind of ancient Egyptian inspired, what how does metal clay help with that? And how do you think the diploma will be able to help you going forwards, I suppose? Or is that something you're still processing? Because sometimes it takes time to think, how am I going to incorporate all of this into my design? But I just wonder if you'd had any thoughts about, how it can help you with your making in your business after the course.
Well, it already has, because I want to be a bit more contemporary, you know, having the ancient inspiration, but not necessarily copying the ancient Egyptians. So this necklace, for example, I do Egyptology lectures with a brilliant professor of Egyptology up at Liverpool. And we did one, and it was about jewelry and some of the jewelry that the queens wear, and this is based on a Nubian design, and it's a hollow form bead, and I made each of the beads one by one, and I'd never have been able to have done this without the course, particularly the hollow form.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to bring bit more of a contemporary feel to what I'm doing and to get away from the norm. You know, I can make anks all day, really easy, quite simple and quite straightforward, but there's nothing special about them,
Mm.
nothing different about them. So this is where metal clay really helps because you can form things and it lends itself so much better than sheet silver, particularly sterling silver. And I just like the shine on metal clay, the fine silver particularly. Um, so yeah, just trying to be a little bit more contemporary and a little bit different from everybody else, which is what I've tried to do throughout the course is to be a little bit different, to add different things. I love colour and I love the enamelling week. Um, and I hope to bring the enamelling week into my end of year project.
Oh, exciting. Yeah. Yeah. That would be amazing. Yeah, so the enameling week was with Joy Funnel, wasn't it? It's one of the master classes as well. And I think you're right, enamel goes so beautifully over silver metal clay. And yeah, the possibilities, like once you've got to grips with it and how it works, and now you've got a kiln and you're all set up, is amazing. And I love what you said as well about being a little bit different and trying some things. And I think that that's a natural progression that a lot of us make once we've got the technique. So at first it's like, I just want to be able to make something because everything I'm making is falling apart. And then once we're solid and secure, like, okay, I can do it, then it's like, oh, how do I make this my own and put my own spin on it? And especially when you're creating a business and you're looking to attract customers and you want to have a brand or however you put it, it's amazing. And I think what you said about the necklace, and anyone who's listening and can't see, it's this gorgeous silver necklace and it's got kind of lots of silver beads, but as Sarah said, it's got a lot of hollow forms. And that's something that would be very difficult to make another way. It would take a lot of processes, a lot of tools and machinery, a lot of time. And I think what's lovely about what you're doing is you're using the materials to the best of their advantage. So you've got the silversmithing background anyway if you need to solder things and do bits and pieces, but you also can see how the clay is going to make something a little bit more organic, a little bit more three-dimensional, perhaps. And yeah, that's really cool. And tell us a bit about your tools and materials because there aren't huge amounts of tools and materials in metal clay compared to metal smithing, but there's still a lot on there. There's still a lot of things, and there's endless things that you can get. How did you manage kind of the tools and materials and getting a kiln and all those kind of things for the course?
Well, I got a kiln before the course anyway, so I had that and I'd used it quite a lot, so I was quite familiar with it. And when I signed up to the course, I was in two minds as to whether to go for the toolkit. And I thought, well, I haven't had any metal clay lessons at all. So if I go with the toolkit, then I'm sure there'll be lots of tools in there that I didn't know existed. And I was quite blown away actually. Simple things like badger balm and Teflon sheets and things like that. So I'm left with two or three things in my toolbox which I didn't know about. So I put them on the Facebook group and going off on a bit of a tangent, the Facebook group and the mentors. are just fantastic. It's great to have the camaraderie with the other students in my group. And yeah, absolutely love it. A really, really good part of the course is getting to know the other students and getting to know our mentors. And things like that. So I've worked really well with the tools. Quite a few of them I have doubled up on, but I'm sure I will use them at some stage. Things like silly things like the snake rollers. I was doing it all by hand in my
Oh
hand.
yes, gotta love a snake roller.
The moisture of the clay. So, little thing like a snake roller has just come in to be invaluable. So I'm really, really pleased I got the toolkit. My blowtorch, for example, was quite a big, chunky, heavy one. And the one that came in with the kit is a very delicate, small one. And now I use that all the time. So I think that was a really good investment for me. Not only to have extra tools at my disposal, but also to learn about what other tools are available. So yeah, I was really pleased with getting the toolkit, and it was a really smart move.
Oh, brilliant. That's amazing to hear. And I think our friends over at Metal Clay put the kits together for us and make them all, which is incredible. We're very lucky to have them. They're kind of one of the biggest suppliers of silver metal clay, and we use them a lot. They're awesome, family run business. So yeah, I'm sure they'll be very pleased to hear that it's working well for you. But you're right. And just to explain to anyone listening who's thinking, what is a snake roller? It's not a complicated tool, is it? It's just a piece of plastic essentially that you use to roll the clay, because when you're working with clay, it's very soft, it's very malleable, but you want to work relatively quickly so it doesn't dry out. And so anything that can help you mold and shape it in a efficient way without getting any kind of inclusions in is really helpful. So I think you're right, those little aha moments where you're like, oh, that's how I can do it. And I do sometimes feel a little bit sorry for people learning on their own at home with metal clay, because I feel like it's one of those things, once someone's shown you, it's easy when you know how. But because I did my first class in person, so there was someone saying, do it like this. And it was so helpful because I was like, oh, okay, I would have thrown on loads of water and tried to smudge it around. And you talk about the mixed results and things, and I think that can sometimes put people off. But yeah, to have that guidance, so helpful when you're sort of learning a new medium. And you mentioned the Facebook group and the mentors. Who is your mentor? Do you want to tell us a little bit about them and your sort of relationship with them?
My mentor's Vicky Ralph, and she's amazing, absolutely amazing, so helpful, answering our questions. Our one-to-ones I absolutely love, and she's very inspiring too. She does her utmost to encourage you, and yeah, I'm so pleased to have her as my mentor. She's absolutely lovely.
Oh, amazing. I should be so pleased to hear. And yeah, I met Vicky at a metal play course we both went to together, and she was sat opposite me and she was just making the most amazing things. We ended up kind of having a conversation for a few days, and then she came and taught at London Jewellery School in London with us for a while. And now she's mentoring with us online. So it's amazing that she's kind of come along that journey. And yeah, anyone listening, definitely go and check out her work. She's got some really cool intricate pieces too. So then coming back to you and your journey, so tell us a bit about where you are now. Are you working? Are you doing your jewelry business full time? Do you have kind of other commitments? Yeah, how does your business run, I suppose, at the moment?
Okay. Well, I'm a freelance PA, and I've been doing that for 28 years. And that's pretty much full time. Um, During lockdown, it was brilliant for me because it meant I had quite a lot of time off work, to explore my jewelry journey. my jewelry was never meant to be a business. It was just something for me. Um, and I put a few things on Facebook and I made a few sales and things like that. Um, and that inspired me really. But when you make sales, it's a bit different to making things for yourself because you think, well, it's got to be better than what it would be if it was just for me. Um, so hence my comment earlier, I wanted to be better than what I am. So at the moment, I'm not concentrating on any marketing. Marketing is not one of my strong points. Being on camera on Instagram is also very much out of my comfort zone. So I'm concentrating on the course at the moment. I've got a few plans in my head as to what I want to do. I've got your brilliant book, Jess, but I'm thinking, no, I will wait until the course is finished before I start really going headlong into the marketing. And I don't really want to do craft fairs because I think my pricing is a little bit high for your average sort of market. So at the moment, I'm looking into some, excuse me, some higher quality craft fairs. Uh,
Mhm. Yeah.
Specifically ones that have got an Egypt connection,
Oh,
uh,
amazing.
so
Yeah.
that I specialize basically. Um, but at the moment, I'm quite happy to I still do my business. I still want to work in my PA business because I love that too. 28 years I've been doing that. So, I don't really want to sort of drop that.
No, no, it's incredible.
And yeah, just really see where this takes me. I'm not going to push it as hard as I do with my PA business. Um, because I don't want to detract from the handmade, putting all my love into each piece. I don't really want to go into mass producing and just knocking things out. So I must admit I got a lot of inspiration from Anna Maison, um, and her pieces are all very different. Every single one is a one-off, and I just think that that's brilliant. Uh,
Mm.
so that's what I'm looking for at the moment. And yeah, looking forward to, well, not looking forward to finishing the course. I'm really not looking forward to finishing the course. Um, but I'm looking forward to taking it a step further where I can say, yeah, okay, I'm actually quite good at this. I've got all the techniques, I'm getting the experience now. And yeah, move forward on that basis, really.
I love that. I think that that's, it sounds like you really know the things that you enjoy, the things that you don't want to do, and are getting, and just this idea of like, it's for you and it's what you love, and that's what you want to keep. And I think, sometimes when we think we need to go hard with something like marketing, actually the best place is to come from that place that you're talking about, which is this is for me and this is what I love, because that's where people become attracted to us. So it's that weird paradox of when we're not trying too hard in a way and we just enjoy it, and people see that we enjoy it. Like, it's so lovely talking to you because I can just feel you like beaming. You're like, I just love this and it's just awesome. And you love your job as well, and you've got this lovely energy about it. So I think that whatever you do, you'll find your kind of your way, and it's going to help to inspire others as well. And we spoke a little bit about Anna Maison. So anybody listening who doesn't know Anna, she's a little bit of a celebrity in the metal clay world. So if you're a metal clayer, you probably know her, but not everyone is in that world. So Anna, like you said, makes these incredible one-of-a-kind pieces, and she teaches one of the master classes, this rose garden pendant, and she does lots of very detailed work. So I think, you touched on something really nice as well, which is that the tutors are very inspiring, and show different ways that it can be done. So everyone who teaches on any of the courses has their own jewelry business, and they're all so different. And I think it gives us permission as well to have different ways of running our own businesses and making things. So Sarah, if people want to find you online and come and say hi, where is the best place for them to come check you out?
Well, I've got my own website, persara.co.uk, or I'm Per Sara Jewellery on Instagram and Facebook.
Wonderful. Definitely go and check it out and say hi to Sarah. And just a final question about the diplomas. If somebody is listening and they're thinking, oh, I think I might like to have a go at that silver metal clay diploma, what would your advice be to them?
Oh, go for it. It's just been the most inspiring thing I've ever done in my life. I've done lots of different things, pottery and sculpture and all different sorts of things, but nothing has inspired me like this has. Um, and I've absolutely loved every minute of it. And I can't recommend it highly enough. So if you're thinking about it, go for it. You won't be disappointed.
That's amazing. It's so lovely to hear about your experience and how much you're enjoying it and your business and all the things that you're doing. So we'll definitely stay in touch, Sarah. And good luck with the rest of the course. Can't wait to see your final projects and all your pieces and everything. And yeah, thank you so much for coming and sharing your journey with us today.
You're welcome. Thank you, Jess. Thank you.